now. It is recording. All right.
It is.
All right. So welcome. We are starting this podcast series called the Wet Water Podcast. Why is it called Wet Water? You're gonna have to ask me on another day when I can find out. Description. My name is Victor Gauli, and I am I can say the main co-host of this podcast, along with Mr. Calvin Tran there in the bottom right. If you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself, we're all students here at ASU. Technically, I'm a junior, but I am a little behind from transferring credits, so I'm a sophomore, attending my sophomore year, majoring in construction management. I currently work for McKesson Medical Company. Basically, think of Amazon, but for medical supplies. So there's that. To my right here we have...
Me?
Yes. Yes, you.
See. Okay, so I'm Ian. I'm Ian Oxley. As you said, I attend ASU as well. I am a sophomore in my first semester studying computer science. And I'm currently working as a full-time student, but in the past I've worked as a soccer referee and at FedEx as a package handler. And I might pursue a master's, but I'm undecided right now. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
And then go ahead,
Next we
Sean.
have Sean.
Hi, hello guys. I'm Sean Fu. I'm also a student at ASU. Currently in my first semester of my sophomore year, pursuing computer systems engineering. I'm still undecided on the whole master's thing. I think bachelor's might just be the way to go, but who knows? If I get into the 4+1, that'd be cool. But anyways, yeah, I'm a part-time student. Well, actually, no, full-time student, and working a part-time job at Costco as a merchandising person. So I work early in the mornings, and yeah, that's really it.
All right, awesome. Thank you. And I'm Kelvin, co-host of this. So I guess you guys will be seeing me around a lot more. But I'm a computer science as well, just like Ian. I'm currently a sophomore. Probably gonna just do a bachelor's. Right now, I work at a part-time doctor's office. I spend like 8 hours a week on my as a small little internship, and I do like a lot of trading on the side. But yeah, let's get started.
Trading what? Pokemon cards or what are we trading?
Trading like options and stuff.
There you go. Okay, cool. So so this podcast is gonna be like we said, we're just I'm gonna be inviting multiple guests, mostly my friends, but they're in the future, if we blow up, might have some special guests on here to talk about specific
I
stuff.
have some guests lined up.
Oh yeah. I got loads of guests. Yeah. So. So we'll do that, and then
it'll have to be in person, but yeah.
Right, and then the stream is right now is a little scuffed because we're just doing this through Discord, but eventually, this is just for my English project for Professor Boykin. If you do see this, actually you probably will see this. I appreciate you. You're an awesome teacher. This is actually all of my friends agree that this is a really dope end of the year project. So. Yes.
Try to keep swearing to a minimum.
Yeah. So
I agree.
I
wish I had this end of the year project for my project.
Since this is gonna be a series and this is the first episode, eventually we'll be swearing. I'm sorry if anyone goes out of line for that, but since you're the only one watching this so far, so. Our topic for today that I'm gonna be analyzing on my paper, as well as we're gonna be talking about, is gonna be so do you have to be successful to go to college, or in other other words, is a college education either bachelor's degree at minimum? I think associates can be acquired in a lot of different places, so I wouldn't count that, but a bachelor's degree and above, is it necessary for success in modern day, right? Because obviously if we're talking about before times, most people agree yes, of course, but now modernization, technology, all that good stuff, there is starting to be another side, or multiple sides, where people think that college education might not be all that required. So, yeah.
Just to make sure the framework, are we doing it mostly just for the U.S.?
So this is I explained this to Ian and Sean before you came. This is actually going to be for the whole world. So to bring
Oh,
so
world,
yeah, just to widen our perspectives because now we have to think about things like other third world countries or countries that might not have that good quality of education, right? Or people that simply don't have the time to get that degree, rather than working and putting food out on the table for their family, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
To start off,
Are we defining
let's
success?
yes. So fine. Well, so it's very broad, right? Because we have to think like what is the modern term definition of success, which is relatively subjective. So let's go and start. Let's start there. Let's define each what we think of a success. So essentially, what I think about success is just simply to be financially stable and not in worry of your living conditions, right? Obviously you don't have to live frugally and have $1 million house or whatever it is, but as long as you're not like thinking about, hey, am I gonna have food to eat tomorrow, or if I want to buy this, do I have trouble affording it? So that's what I think in terms of financial success. Ian, what do you think about this?
I think success is largely based upon like how happy you are as a person. Like there's people that exist that are like, hey, I don't need a lot of money to be happy, but if you feel good about the life that you have, then I would say that that's successful in a way. And of course, everyone's gonna have like a different definition, but like I could be in like a really bad situation, but if I'm happy, then that's okay. I would say that like I've succeeded, or like if I've done a task and I feel like I've done a good job, then even if it's not like the best in the world, but I feel like it's good, then I would say that I succeeded and like that was a successful project.
Cool. That's a very, very good way to look at it. Very positive. Sean, what's your definition of success?
Well, mine's is a little bit similar to Ian's, but also a little bit different. So, like, I was thinking, like, I based off of success based on, like, how happy I am at the moment. Sure, like, you can say, like, oh, people are successful, they have the money, they have the capabilities and everything to do what they want and when they want. But, like, for me, like, recently I've been thinking about this a lot because, like, college has been really stressful and, like,
As for all of us.
yeah, I mean, it's really stressful, but like I'm thinking like, like we're relating this to like does college really make you successful in the future? And I'm just thinking like, from based on like what I'm working right now at Costco, right? I'm working with multiple people in the morning. Each of these people, like everyone here, is like happy, and only a couple of them have actually pursued a college degree, and so like but they're living like their lives to like the best of the ability they're really happy about. And so I look at them like I think they're successful because like, they're living life, they're living happy. And so when I see that, I'm like, yeah, I think they're successful. I think basing it off of happiness and where you are, as long as you're, like you said, Victor, financially stable, I think that's a great like spot to be in.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
not just good, I think it's a great spot.
No.
Okay. My version of success, I guess. I mean, like, I guess most people just say like it's like if you're happy and you feel good about where you are, but like, just for the like premise of this talk, I want to make it like more kind of like measurable, so we can actually like talk about it. Um, so my definition of success would be like mostly what Victor said about basically being stable, like not having to worry about, uh, getting every food on the table every day and able to pursue your goals without possibly like basically being able to pursue your goals without having any hindrance. I didn't really have a bigger definition yet.
No, that's all right.
Just stability.
Yeah. So I think all of us have a really similar idea, and as should I believe modern society should have this idea of just simply the two key components I've taken away from this is just one, being financially stable, right, and two, being happy with what you do, right, because some people would define success as you don't have to make $1 million a year or a lot of money a year, and because you might be doing that, but you might hate your job every day. You might not want to wake up every single day and never go to work. Versus some people, like Sean said, they work at Costco, but they don't mind working at Costco because it provides for them what it is, and it's an easy enough job for them to do without being too stressed and still having a work-life balance. So there's that. So getting into the actual, go ahead.
Yeah, one more thing I was gonna add was that there's also like that hierarchy of needs thing that like you kind of learn in psychology. I don't know if you guys have taken that or like that class, but it's basically having a balance of like psychological, financial, family, all that stuff, like a balance of like okay in each category. Whereas like some people it's not just finance or just family.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so leading into that, we started a discussion. So, I think a couple of sides here. Obviously, we have one that's going to be supporting that college education, pursuing that college education in order to get a good job. Because I do see here, that many people are, obviously the four of us at least, we are in college pursuing college education that is of a bachelor's degree or higher. So that said something. Do all of us want to be here? I don't. I think the three of you do. Me, I'm on the edge. I'm like, but I'm here, right? So, and as a lot of people, that is why there's a lot of universities. There's at least, I would say, 2 to 3 universities, public universities in every state, which is a lot of schooling in the United States compared to other countries that don't take college education as important and serious as we do, right? So there's that, and then so according to the Northeastern EDU, so I'm assuming Northeastern is their school there. This says through 2020 there will be 55 million job openings in the U.S., where 35% of those will absolutely require a bachelor's degree for you to even apply for the job. So you have to show proof of a college degree to even be considered for a candidate to a job before the interview, before all that. So I think even though 35%, in the wide range of 100% does not seem a lot of those jobs it's saying here that are mainstream, including STEM, a lot of STEM jobs, a lot of research, STEM requiring jobs. So my stand on this is actually, I do not believe that a college education is necessary for success, for future, but it is very I think in modern day still it is very hard to be successful without one. So this just comes in as in like, so they're saying here, even when a job does not require a bachelor's degree, 91% of jobs go to people who have one. So if we're measuring out 2 candidates that are applying for a job, and they share very similar skill sets, but one of them has that extra knowledge proven by the evidence of a bachelor's degree or higher, they're saying 90% of the time the job will obviously hire the one with versus without. So that is my main stand on it. So I definitely, if for anyone else that's watching this that might not be in college yet, or maybe in college or thinking of dropping out or something, I would say definitely stay in college. If you're already in it, stay in it, and then if like you don't have some a path that you specifically want to go set out for you, I say do go to college. So
I would actually have for that last point, I would actually have a contradicting viewpoint with that, is that if you don't like know at all what you want to do, I think honestly, unless you have a full ride scholarship, this is assuming you have to pay for it, like most people do, right? Or like you get a loan.
Yeah.
I think that it actually wouldn't be a good idea to stay in, because like a lot of people take gap years and they use that time to either get a job, save up money, or just try out a bunch of different things so that they can like really learn what they like to do, or like kind of want to pursue, or at least they can learn what they don't want to do and like have some motivation of like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life, so I should go to college, versus going to college and just cruising through and not knowing what you want to do.
Yeah, was it at Costco? One of my former coworkers, he quit because I don't know, he has some problems with some people there. But he was only like I would say 4 years older than me. He was like 23, and I got in, and he was talking about school. I was talking about the schooling and everything, right? He used to go to college. He went for like 1 year, but then he told me he dropped out because he just wasn't sure what he wanted to do, and he decided to take a gap year. But it was during this time period where that he got like he obviously worked at Costco, but he also worked a different job, and it was through these experiences. Like one of them was a really technical job, where he was like uh, building. He wasn't designing it, but he was building like motherboards and like circuits and everything for a company that he had a connection with a friend. So he was working there, but
But then he had to. How did he acquire that education to know how to? Did they train him?
yeah, it's all training.
So he actually.
Oh, you go ahead.
So what you're saying is he actually didn't have any sort of like a college education. Obviously, he acquired some knowledge by taking some classes. I'm assuming if it's his first year, so, mostly GEs, but he was still able to get a semi technological advanced job, right, without a college degree. So there's that other side.
This is what I'm gonna bring up my point. Is like technically, I don't think to land a successful job, you don't need like a college degree, right? You don't need a bachelor's, don't need anything. Taking my dad for example, he only had a high school diploma. When he got out of high school, he was only doing like these little odd jobs around his neighborhood, like mowing people's lawns, doing all this stuff. But eventually, he landed as an engineer at CH2M Hill, which is like a not necessarily an air conditioning company, but it's like a company that designs like the air vents, the air ducts, and everything. He's like the one that designs like CADs, the models, and for the building and everything for how the systems will work. And he got in it with a high school diploma. He never took college, didn't go get associates, no anything. He got in and he learned on the job, which is why I'm thinking like, well, places usually hire people who have experience rather than necessarily having like, let's say, the degree, right? Because like looking at all the internships and like job, that I think that's why internships are important, right? Because jobs are looking for people with experience, not necessarily the nameplate of like a bachelor's degree. Because nowadays everyone's trying to get a bachelor's degree, and it's just like, well, how do we weed out the people who all have the same degree? Well, it's obviously people who have experience.
That's true. Yeah, and it's like, and I want to add, it's like, all of us, we do go to college. We know a bunch of people like that are going to ASU, right? And as needless to say, I don't want to be saying this, but this is a true thing that everybody sort of knows but just doesn't talk about. But people do cheat their way through college, and this is I believe many of us have either experienced or know someone, or even ourselves. Maybe just let me check this assignment real quick, and just get the easy answer, right? Because a lot of things are online now, and I genuinely believe there is enough information simply by looking up online to get you a degree without you actually learning a single thing yourself, without you having to read a single page of textbook.
I mean, yeah, but like that doesn't do you any good. Like that's gonna bite you in the ass, because people are in like an interview setting, right? If you don't know the answer to a question that someone's interviewing you, but you have a degree, like that becomes clear once you reach that stage. And if you can't answer like those questions that people are asking you, then they're not gonna give you the job.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Someone who has experience, who knows what they're doing, as opposed to some college student who just cheated their way through.
Right.
Because that does them no good.
Right. But that brings back to Sean's point of saying, hey, so many people have this degree, and this degree essentially proves that you have acquired all this knowledge, right? But if you haven't, if you actually don't know what like for example, like you said, the interview questions, they could, like you said, they will know that, hey, even though you have this degree, you don't really have this skill set in order to perform the job. Yeah. So
the thing about that is, right, is that like I think that even if you don't have the skill set like required to do the job, like you can learn on the job, right? Like that's what my dad did. That's what a lot of people do. I think that's the general point of rule with any job. You learn on the job, right? Because I like.
See, but that's hard though, cause back in I believe now more than ever people are I think now more than ever a lot of people are because a bachelor's degree is so widely I guess pursued and it's becoming easier and easier to get one because so many people are pursuing it. I think it's because like compared to when you're older, like in your dad's generation, people were able to be hired without one, right? But right now, to even get past into that interviewing phase where you can potentially be hired, you have to prove that you have that first. So it's sort of like now it's like a that degree is like a passport almost. It's like a passage of entry to even to be considered a candidate of hiring, right? So rather than being hired and then getting trained after, even though you don't have the knowledge.
Yeah, because according to Georgetown, it says that I think you read this earlier. 35% need a bachelor's degree, but the thing about the questions on like the interviews, I think it also really depends on what like field you're in. Like we're in tech, right? So the questions in our interviews would be like there'll be coding interview questions where you actually have to know the material, whereas like a lot of like business jobs, I mean no shade to business majors, but like as long as they're like smart and they kind of understand the information going through business and like they can kind of understand just how talking to people and how to read situations, they can get close to those interviews and learn on the job, just like Sean said.
Yeah.
But also like the thing about like searching up answers online and researching, that's kind of a skill in itself, to be honest. Unless you use Chegg, because Chegg just obviously just shows you up, but like having the ability to research everything and find all the answers and everything is kind of a skill for a lot of jobs that are required nowadays. So,
I mean, yeah, if you're like your comp sci, Kelvin, you can relate with me on this. Like Stack Overflow is like incredibly useful
yeah, like most
because when we're
software
trying to learn
engineers-
like the syntax of like a new language that we're learning, like going to Stack Overflow and being able to understand, okay, what's this guy's logic, and like how to use that logic to create your own code, like that helps out a lot.
yeah, like most
But
software
it's also
engineers,
it's
like,
not easy.
yeah, like people would think that like we just like we sit down and start like typing away hella code, but like half the time like some software engineers say half the time they're spending researching like on Stack Overflow and like on other examples to build up their code.
Mhm.
So it really depends on your job as well. And then also I was gonna say about the degree, um, part of it, I mean like part of the reason why a lot of jobs do require degrees nowadays, honestly, is it's not even about the knowledge. It's about your ability to like learn, pass those classes. Like you have at least the IQ to pass all those classes, and the grit to like not give up, like to actually go through all those classes and not give up. It's kind of like it's more than the knowledge. That's why a lot of people who graduated bachelors don't even go in the field that they got, but they still got like better jobs because they have a degree in the first place.
And now also knowledge is a lot more accessible because we have things like the internet, right? Like back in the day, like my parents are always telling me how they had to like go to the library and pick up a book and then find like the page number, versus for us we can just search it up online.
You're
It's
you're
right there for us.
Encyclopedia.
So like nowadays learning material is so much easier than it was like 20, 30 years ago.
Wait, yeah, but Ian, your dad, I believe you did your dad go to college? Because he works. I know he works at Iridium.
He did.
So yeah, he
Yeah.
did acquire college, but his graduating year was what, like 19 something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
1980s.
yeah. So I'm sorry. No offense to Ian's dad if he ever watches this, but I'm not sure how old you are, sir. But yeah, so contrary to, I believe your dad and Sean's dad are similarly aged, right? It can't be more than a 5-6 year age
Mhm.
gap. So you're seeing one that has not gone to college and one that has gone to college and acquires a degree, but both of them are successful. So
Yeah.
there is clearly examples even back, acquiring education back in the 1800s, the 1900s, not the 1800s, the 1980s, in the 1980s, in the 1980s, not having an education it can still get you somewhere. But I think it's important to know that having that education.
Wait, before you go on, I think we should preface that this is more about like getting a college education.
College education.
Yeah.
Right, because like I see in my chat here, I'm streaming this on Twitch. A lot of people are saying that you can learn a lot more than what school teaches you just by looking up online. Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
it's
like-
not like the information is hidden. It's not like college is the only place that you can unlock education.
Stream link.
Oh yeah. Let me send this to the stream link real quick. But
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh, shoot, I just lost. I talked about the streaming, and I lost my train of thought.
it's
Um,
there. All right, there you go.
say what you just said again. Might help me remember.
Wait. What did you ordered the stream link? No, I was saying how
Yeah.
I was saying how both Ian's dad, who has a college degree, and Sean's dad, who doesn't have a college degree,
I remember now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was gonna talk about. So I was gonna say that. Also, a big argument that a lot of people talk about is college helps a lot of people who can't like discipline themselves. Like obviously you still need discipline to do college, but college is like a roadmap for you to like how to do things, assignments are due, all of that. Like it kind of shows you a roadmap how to learn things. But if you can learn it on yourselves, especially with the internet age nowadays and libraries on top of that, honestly you can learn more through college. But most people don't have the ability to learn everything, like to discipline themselves like 9 hours a day, reading textbooks 9 hours a day without like a professor trying to teach them, having peers around them learning the same thing.
Yeah, but then what makes them have that ability to do it online though? Because it's the same thing. Like it's not like
If
you have to
you're in
read
college,
less.
you're paying like $10,000 a semester.
But wouldn't that be an
Uh,
incentive? Wouldn't that be an incentive to be like, hey, I paid for this, I really should learn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But then that's why I'm saying people who don't have the discipline need it. But then there's also like the paths, like the Elon Musk of the world, the Mark Zuckerbergs. Like they dropped out of college and they just built everything through their own education.
Yeah, like Victor, you see Michael Reeves, right?
My,
The man is passionate,
Yeah.
legit passionate about
Yeah.
computer science and engineering.
yeah, he taught himself. Yeah.
He literally teaches himself. He doesn't. He didn't really go to college. He only went for like 1 or 2 years, and he dropped out. He went to NAU. By the way.
Right, but I'm
you
okay,
talking about?
but
Oh, it's a-
Michael Reeves, yeah. But from my, I don't know, just
Oh,
I
Michael
guess
Reeves.
from my like my train of thought is like having that college education, like those people that dropped out of college, by no means like they probably did so much hard work to get to where they're at right now, right? Even though they did not go to college. I think college,
Than college students do.
but I also think
Right.
college students are like that degree does not simply just show that hey, like I went to college and I you know, whether I learned or did not learn this stuff, I have the proof that I have enough knowledge in this, you know, department of study. But rather it shows like, because college is not just learning, right? It's a whole lifestyle, right? Because like some kids, like for example, personally like me, I'm not loaded with money. My parents are not supporting me a single dollar to go to college, right? I'm choosing to, hey, right now, as all you see, I'm working a full-time job as well as taking, you know, full-time credits. How that's going, that is off topic, but I am doing so because I believe that the college education and the lifestyle is actually giving me experience in itself to be ready for the real world. Because being able to juggle this work school balance is a skill set that you can't learn just by, because think about it, if you're learning online, right, like you can learn for 20-30 minutes and then chill for like 2 hours, right? So you have unlimited time to do whatever it is that you need if you're like, if your parents are supporting you through like food, shelter, and all that, right? So it's like I think college, the college education it comes with many benefits that goes outside of education as well, right? It's a lifestyle that
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So like, it's not just about the degree, right? It's about also like some people who go into college, like they start college as like really a kid. Like a lot of people who, especially freshmen, are like nowhere near mature yet. Like college kind of teaches you how to be an adult, especially if you move out.
yeah.
And then also there's the networking opportunities that people don't talk about often. Is that like you're introduced to all these other people that are gonna be in your field in the future. All these clubs that you can join and learn more, and you're meeting all these professors who are experts in their field, right? And you can also join these research labs if you want to like learn to get more research and experience. And also like about what Sean said earlier about the internships. A lot of colleges have their own programs to get you internships, kind of like how ASU has that handshake program, which helps you get that experience that's like the main important thing when you're getting a job. So
Well, yeah. So, you know, there's that side of the conversation, and I believe. So I mean, college education, I think it's necessary enough to where people should pursue it simply because of the skill sets they learn, as well as the main field, field of expertise that they will learn from getting the degree itself, right? Because life's skills in life, essentially. Because like when you're you guys bring up this point, like, oh, how easy it is now to learn all these things without actually going to college and taking class and sitting in the classroom and all that. But these things these interactions that you make, and the things that you have to do outside while you're in college, on campus, online, whatever, it is so much different from just you searching up a topic, comp sci, med, whatever it is, and just learning it from there. Because you're not learning, because you can't really learn life skills without actually going out to live life, right? So that's what I think.
Yeah, and I can relate to this with like my story in that so like I lived at home, and then obviously I've come up to college camp. I live up here because it's just more convenient, like to walk to my classes, and everything's nearby. If I ever need to study at like the library, I can just walk there. But if I weren't going to college, then I wouldn't have that incentive to move out of my parents' house. Like I'd probably still be living there, having my mom cook me dinner every night or whatever. But now that I'm up here, it's like I have to like do more chores, like I have to make sure the common areas,
Exactly,
and I have to
yeah.
vacuum the entire place. I have to learn how to cook because eating out is just too damn expensive, you
Yeah.
know. So nowadays, like
Dog is.
I almost think that just being away from home and having to do everything myself is almost more valuable than the classes I'm taking,
Yeah.
because this is preparing me more for what life is about than learning how to do some like math equations or whatever inside of my lectures.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
see, and there's like a difference between you and like other people who want to be independent, right? Like me, like I sort of wanted to just move out and just try to see how I do on my own, right? Because, no disrespect for my brothers and everything, but I'm pretty sure my parents saw me as like very independent and ready to just go on, right? And that's why I did, right? My uncle gave me this opportunity to go live on my own, and I tried for 1 year, and then now my little brother Ian is living with me, right? But it's like not really much different, because in reality, I feel like I'm still doing most of the chores, if not all of them, still. Because like all
how you raised.
yeah, it's like for you, Ian, like you said, you would have been staying at home with your mom. For some other people, the circumstances are different. Like let's say like tiger parents, right? The term tiger parents, which is like or helicopter parents, like they're always on your
on your bum.
It's on top of you to like do this, do that, like so and like if you live your life all like under constant pressure like that, like you would want to move out, right? You would want to go on the road, you want to learn, and it was through that people will learn to be independent and everything, right?
So what you're saying is that just simple like that college, that you don't need college education to learn the skills, as if you just simply have the knowledge growing up that hey, eventually.
It's not even like doing the college education. It's just that what Ian was trying to explain, right? Is that he was saying like, oh, college has prompted me to learn these experiences, to get these experiences myself because I am up here, right? It's more convenient for him. But for some other people, they don't have to pursue college, let's say, for them to move out and get these experiences themselves, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a choice. And Ian, for Ian's example, he chose the more convenient choice while he's pursuing college.
Yeah.
So like, I'm kind of going well, I mean, I'm gonna go back to that topic, but I'm kind of changing it as in, because like this whole time we've been kind of talking about the benefits of college a lot. So my stance on college is actually it's not actually necessary. Like the keyword necessary, like there's a lot of benefits to it, like we've been talking about. But I don't think it's necessary for success. Because one, obviously, the thing that we were just talking about, living outside of home, right? You don't have to go to college to do that. You can move out. Just if you want to be independent, whether or not that's because your parents or you just want to be independent and live your own life. Because I have a friend that he's been moving around through a lot of jobs now, but he moved out to his own place and he's been doing like basically all the chore stuff, lifestyle stuff, but he doesn't go to college. But he's not like a genius like Elon Musk or anything. But if you talk about like Elon Musk or any of those like geniuses that people talk about, that their success stories, they didn't live with their parents. Like they clearly moved out, started their own business. It really has to do with what your goals are and if you have like a plan for yourself right now. Um, and then also we haven't been really talking about the other options besides college, such as um, the trade schools are out right now. And like for example, we're in technology, so there's the coding boot camps, right? You can go to that for like 3 to 6 months, and a lot of them promise right after you're done with that, you get a job in the tech field, which pays like what a starting salary like $60,000 a year, and that's like so a lot of people consider that successful, right? That's like more than the median income in the U.S. right there, from like a 6 month boot camp. I mean, sure, it's like maybe like $3,000, $5,000 to get in the camp, but like if you get a
Doesn't
job, you can make that in a few months.
doesn't Google
Like
offer
other,
this coding program right now? It's like
It's,
yeah,
9 months or something,
Google
and
is
it's and
offering
it's
one.
yeah.
It's similar, but it's like I don't think you need to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's free.
Some of them actually pay you. Like there's one I saw an advertisement for, it pays you $1,500 a month just for going to that boot camp.
No
Obviously,
way.
you can't get kicked out though. So it's
What
it's
am I doing?
incentive to learn. I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yo, I'm kind of tempted. I was like, why am I doing this? Like it's $1,500 a month, and you're learning how to code and everything. The only problem is obviously, I think if you get kicked out, you have to pay it all back. But like the graduation rate to job ratio, like it's like over 90% of the people are in there. So there's a lot of other options, and then obviously as the plumbers, they make like $70,000 a month, and then obviously all the construction jobs they pay like $35 an hour or something.
You know, the benefits of
Other-
that, talking from like a college side perspective, is that because like we're modernizing so much, a lot of what we're learning right now is going to be outdated in like 4 years, right? Like we're taking classes in like especially right now like assembly code. Like Sean can relate to this. Like that
Yeah,
is
no
so
one uses
outdated.
that.
Like no one is ever going to use
Yeah.
You don't
assembly.
see the use of assembly.
So it's like in college we're learning some stuff that is like it's just fluff and like they're trying to explain it to us, but if you really think about like the application in the real world, there's like very little to none. Like when am I ever going to use assembly code and when am I ever going to use stats? Because if I take
Yeah.
like this boot camp, now I'm like specializing in what I actually want to do.
Right. Yeah, and you get a job right away, which and you get that in like on the job experience, right? Like
And
Yeah.
way earlier
most-
than a college student would.
most days now, like companies use mainly Java, JavaScript, not even JavaScript anymore, but mostly Java, C, C++, C Sharp. It's all of those other those more important languages, because they're like designed to be versatile.
Especially in
company.
tech. I know that I don't know about Apple. I don't know if your uncles like said anything about it, but I know like in Facebook, for example, when they hire a new engineer, especially software engineers, they expect to lose money on you in this first 6 months just to train you. So like once they hire you, they're expecting the first 6 months for you just to learn and not even be productive for the company.
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah. So what my thing with that is like you guys are. I think the idea that you guys are saying like, hey, there's many more options in the present day rather than going to college, but still being able to get an education at some institution, right? Whether boot camp, yeah, whether boot camp or whatever. But I think carrying this out to like for example in the United States, right, having a college education is not that rare. Like so 90 what is it like 65% 70% of people have.
It's actually not that high of a number.
Is it?
It's like around 50%, I think.
Yeah, but that's still a lot if you're comparing it to some
other
a third country, right?
Are we counting community college also? Right?
No.
No,
It has to be 4 year. Yeah. Well, I mean, unless the community college offers actual bachelor's, right?
Because I have a friend, I have a coworker friend who's double majoring electrical and mechanical, who's also working a full.
Okay, that guy's nuts. Homie just flexing.
Guys, so I just looked it up. According to bestcolleges.com, 42% of American adults have a college degree, and this is including associates. So it's not even 50%, and this is including associates.
Wow. So it's actually not that high.
It's not that high
Yeah.
because because you guys know a lot of people drop out first 2 years. Like innocent, like our friend group doesn't have any because we have like pretty like smart people in the way that we were raised is like never give up. But like there's a lot of people that like party their way out of their first year of college.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the point that I was gonna bring up is to take this to a more worldwide scene, right? Like, we can all generally agree that in currently in third world countries that college education is a lot harder to pursue than the States or Canada or any first world countries.
If
Like
you think about it, the states are 42%.
exactly. Yeah, there's not a university 3 miles down south in India, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and so like
Well,
having
India, but not
well,
another country.
right in Zimbabwe, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But but the point is like I think having a college education, like the degree specifically, it actually gives a boost of confidence and sort of like feel and a better feeling in yourself, right? Because especially coming from a third world country, if you know in your country college education is rare and it's hard to get and you have acquired it, you're way more confident to apply to way more jobs rather than if you just learn the information on your own and you're like, hey, I think I'm ready. But when you really come to apply and you get interviewed, that lack of proof simply will not only make your employers uneasy, but it'll make yourself uneasy because you're thinking like, hey, do I really know this information? Because there's just not, like, even though you studied all that, there's just not that physical representation of all your knowledge written on documents saying, hey, you learned this, right? So I think that boost of confidence and that better feeling about yourself is something to look forward to, and a huge difference between having and not having a degree.
Well, if you
I
go
mean-
to like a trade school, or a technical school, or like a real estate school, then you will have like a certificate like that saying you graduated from this school. It's kind of like a diploma, but obviously it's not a university, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, it's like if you know your stuff, right? If you learned all this stuff and you really know it, like, I don't think, like, you'll like things like, oh, all this knowledge that you learned, all your experiences goes up to this one physical thing. I don't really think that really matters, like, if you know, like I say, if you know your stuff, right? Because, like, if you show you have the knowledge, you have the experience. Well, not. I think more like just knowledge, right? If in the interview, but if you have the knowledge, right, you're not gonna like, just turn you down, right? Because they're like, oh shoot, this guy knows how to do this.
Yeah, but at the same time,
Like comparing to like someone who has a degree, who, let's say they have the same knowledge, right? Like this guy is probably committed to like learning on the job, right? Because
But-
like just this is like this little side track experience with me. Like I went to Costco, right, with no knowledge of how to do the job, obviously, but like I was committed. I had the work ethic to do everything. And just earlier, like I told my coworkers, like I was 19. They're all, and some of them, I've been working there for a year, and some of them didn't even know how old I was. They thought I was older because of my work ethic, right? I asked one of my coworkers, like, "Hey, were you surprised that I got hired at like 18?" They're like, "No, you looked 18, but your work ethic doesn't like reflect that." They said like, "Oh, I was a lot more like they expected me to be a lot older based on my work ethic, right? Because like I need to like start supporting myself and everything." But like, that's just like a little snippet, right? Like, as long as you have the work ethic, you to learn. If you have the knowledge already, like I feel like you can get pretty far.
Yeah, but
how
I think it's different. I still think it's different to have that feeling. It's like I want to put it in perspective to something that we all know. We've all played video games, right? And we all know we're all susceptible to this video game called League of Legends, okay? And
Yeah, what's that?
yeah, it's the new one, Arcane.
Made after Arcane.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game that-
Yeah, go check it out, guys. Arcane, great show. Yeah, but anyways,
Yeah.
small indie
Anyways,
by the way.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like people saying like hey, I know I'm a diamond player. For reference, this video game that we play, there's rankings to it, right? It goes from platinum or iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, masters, and so on. It goes to the highest rank, where the highest rank is the best players and the lowest rank is the dirty dog waters, right? so but you hear people saying this all the time, like hey, I know, like, in myself, or I feel like that I'm a diamond player, or I'm a masters player, but their physical rank shows that they cannot get out of plat. I'm not saying me, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, but it's a bit
I'm
different
pretty
for like work experience, because if you have like a good work ethic, you're gonna have projects to like show for it. It's not like someone someone is better than someone at creating projects. Like everyone has their own thing that they have going on, right? And if you have like the evidence that, hey, I did this project, I did this thing, and this is what it does, and it looks good, then that's what stands out on an application. Versus like you don't have people writing on their applications like, oh, I'm gold, I'm bronze, or I'm, well, technically that is a thing, but you also have like that project to like back it up, and that's what employers look at. What?
In my on my resume it says no, on my resume I wrote that I'm Diamond in League of Legends.
I mean that is work ethic, I guess.
yeah. That's the mental to climb, the mental to climb the rank ladder in League of Legends, just like to climb the corporate ladder in work. It's the same reflection. Yeah.
I mean, you can think of it as like, if going back to League of Legends, you can think of like projects as like champ pool. Like you can be diamond, but only know how to play one champion, or you could be like platinum, but you know how to play a whole bunch of champions. Like, who do you want on? If you're making a competitive team, like who do you want on your team? Do you want that one trick diamond, or do you want that plat player that can play a bunch of things?
That is also true. So, yeah, but I don't know. Hey, maybe I don't know about you guys, but I would prefer the diamond one trick. Okay, I don't know.
I mean, no, so in League, I wouldn't prefer the diamond one trick, but in like a company setting, I actually would prefer a specialist, because companies are actually nowadays will actually paying like specialists way more money. Like if you specialize in Java or just front end, you're gonna get, well, not front end. Front end doesn't get paid that much, but like you get the idea. You specialize in one little thing, you'll get paid way more than if you know a little bit of everything, especially in tech.
But then that all depends on the type of job, right? Because some jobs, like for example, like Costco or like McKesson, or even when
Costco's not like a college degree job.
Well, Ian's worked at both. Well,
there's some positions that.
Yeah, but but just for example, it's like some if we're to put, you know, all jobs that require a college degree, some jobs require you to have knowledge outside of that college degree, right? To have these other skills, right? Versus like you said, a specialist, they only hired you to do this one specific task for the rest of your life that you work at that job. All you got to do is do this one task good, and you'll be paid well. Versus someone who's, you know, had a college degree, and it's like, hey, though, you know, we need you to show that you have extensive knowledge about this subject. You also need to know other skills as well in order to work for us, right? So,
for sure, a college is gonna be like a more well-rounded education, but even college students will need to specialize in something. Like for example, if you're like a mechanical engineer or an aerospace engineer, right? You're not going to learn every single part of the plane. You're going to learn how to really maximize the engine of the plane, or like the wings or something like that. Or like, I mean, that's how you make money. Unless you're looking to just climb up the ladder and be like a manager, but even then you have to like first, you know, be really good at one thing.
Right. Yeah. I think that point is very valid, to where like again I would say agree to disagree that it has to be like job specific scenarios where like it depends on what the job requires you to do, right? But I think in general, in the more broad field, because specialized jobs, although they get paid very high, they also generally require a higher degree of education in order to get those jobs. But just to have like a college education, for example, just a bachelor's or a master's, a lot of the jobs that hire you would require you to have all these other necessary skills that they might have you do outside of just your extensive knowledge based off the subject that you've studied, and a lot of that skill can be acquired through college as well. So
yeah, I think a lot of it depends on your experience.
Yeah.
What happened to your webcam?
Oh, I accidentally turned it off. Is it on?
Accidentally.
No, it's on.
It's not on. Is it?
It's
Not
on.
on.
It's on.
It's on for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Homie's
still off for me. Oh, okay.
homie's screen is messed up. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So I think we're hitting
That's it.
we're hitting close to that hour mark here.
We should like decide our position.
Yeah, I think through a lot of the podcasts, I think a lot of viewers would know that my position is, though personally I am not big for college, I do think that in present day, if you're talking about starting today, or starting at least, I would say, from 2010 to 2020 and on, it is absolutely like close to absolute that you have to have a college education, bachelor's or above, simply due to not only because of the actual knowledge, the proof of knowledge that you learn, obviously if you've actually not cheated your way through school, but as well as the other skills at all that comes with that college education. So that is my main stand on it. Ian, what's your standpoint on that?
I agree that it is not essential. Like, of course, there's those success stories of like Elon Musk and like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, who are like, these guys dropped out of college, but they're still hugely successful. But we can't base those decisions on those outliers, because we have to factor in everybody else that's dropped out of college and hasn't had that same level of
Technical
success.
schools.
And when we think about it from that perspective, you start to understand that if you weigh in this average success of people who didn't make it through college versus people that did, it makes a lot of sense to go through college. Like it makes a lot of sense to still go for a degree, because that path is one that's been proven over time to reap successful results. And on average, if you want to reach a point in life in which you can say I'm successful, I would say college is a near guaranteed way to get to that point without feeling like you're putting yourself at risk
Okay.
by not going.
Okay.
I mean, I can agree with the point that it is the safest option. There's a reason why, like, I just looked at an article by MarketWatch. It's like, even with non-degree requiring jobs, like 9 out of 10 of them will take someone with a college education over someone who doesn't. But going back to the question, we're asking, like, is it really necessary? I don't think it's necessary, because there's, like, a big, like, even if the 9 out of 10 is accurate, there's still at that 10% that is, like, able to be successful with their job.
Calvin's about to be part of that 10%. Oh, he's about to drop out.
I'm out, boys, after this podcast.
I'm kind of going with Kelvin here, right? Because I'm thinking like it's not really necessary for you to like learn college if you have the work ethic, if you have the drive to learn what you want to know, and even like you can also go out, like Kelvin also mentioned, going to like those trade schools, the specialized schools to learn what you need. Like you can be saving like tens of thousands of dollars if you go do those trade schools compared to college. And you can, and you can learn about the same as much, right? If you have the drive, the work ethic, the knowledge, you can, I think, catch yourself in a good spot as well.
Yeah. Cool. So I think.
So we're tied 2-2.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not what I mean. It's yeah. Well. Okay. So before we end this off, I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to disinclude the audience here, but I think it looks like the audience, a lot of them more agree with. Actually, who have Abby here. I think Abby is saying that she more agrees with. Actually going to college, because like she said, the point of having information online is that it's free, but going to school for it is better since you're experiencing the field that you're working with, that you're working with. So she's saying like I said, going into that college also comes with benefits from like, hey, you can actually go intern and because a lot of companies nowadays wouldn't let you in unless you're actually going to the school and you're saying, hey, you're entering because you're attending the school, right? So, and then I think from Michael's standpoint, Michael is standing with Sean and Calvin here, saying that
Michael,
it's not necessary because there's other things that you can do, like you said, like trade school or if you're really that strong-willed to learn on your own online. So
Abby also brings like the counterpoint with her boyfriend. She said like her boyfriend. Like he's never needed to do the boot camps, right? But like, the job, like, what he learned wasn't really like helpful, unless like.
Yeah, I haven't taken the boot camps. I've only seen the ads. So.
Like,
but like,
he's only taking he's only taking like a few classes.
Oh, okay.
There's a few classes that are on point, yes, to learn, but like most of what she's saying her boyfriend, like, because I'm reading through chat right now. Well, most of what her boyfriend learned wasn't that useful. Like right here she said data structures, which is, I'm pretty sure, a very useful class.
Yeah.
We're taking that.
Is she saying her boyfriend didn't go to college and went to the coding boot camp?
No, he went to college. But most of the stuff that you learn, in the
Most of the
level,
classes weren't
except,
that useful, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
weren't that useful except for a select few.
Yeah.
So yeah. But then I guess those are select few if you really want to, and you know that you need to learn those, you can acquire that online. So yeah, so that is what are we running at? When did we start? As I think 6:35, 6:36. So we're running really close to that hour mark. But so we're gonna go ahead and end this podcast here. However, I think very successful first podcast for all of us. Hand a round of applause to Sean and Ian, our first two, I guess, official guests on the podcast. I think it looks like we can already, start to think about our next podcast and our topics. All these podcasts, they're not gonna have all these serious topics. I was telling Calvin, I was like, hey, we should do something like this. Cats or dogs better, right? Or just something that's a little is water wet, right? Is water wet? Podcasts that, but we don't want it to be too boring to where like it's only like a 10-minute discussion, right? So. So thank you guys for joining us, all the Twitch streamers, all the viewers. Is water wet? See, you're gonna have to follow the Wet Water podcast to eventually find out. So yeah, chat's going wild here, but we're gonna end it here. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Ian. You guys had brought up great perspectives, as well as Calvin, pulling up with the statistics all around. So I think this is a very successwater podcast.
Yeah,
So
also,
stay.
I'm gonna start a YouTube channel for this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be called obviously the what's it called? The Wet Water Podcast.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Yeah. If you do want to check us out, go ahead and let me know. If you want any of their Snapchats, Instagrams, whatever it is, I have them all. Just go ahead and reach out to me on stream, on Twitch, or whatever. And if you want to discuss this further, also give me a message. Maybe we can continue this podcast at a later time. Maybe have a part 2 for this specific topic. Yeah, and have guests from chat.
Other topics you wanna.
Yeah, if you have other topics, always send us suggestions. So let me end the recording real quick for the